Hello everyone, Friday, July 6, 2018. Of course, Wednesday was New Comic Book Day and the release of Batman 50. But I didn't have an opportunity to do the video until tonight, so I'm going to show you the books I picked up, and then we're going to discuss a couple of things. So let's jump right into it. And of course, we're going to start off with the big book this week, which was Batman 50. This was cover, I thought was the best cover of the book. A lot of people who read the Batman 50 were very disappointed in it. I kind of liked the direction I think it's going to head, so we can only keep our fingers crossed because it was a good storyline up here. I hope they don't drop the ball on that. Blank variant here. And I'm going to give DC a little bit of credit, and this is the regular cover here. They kept this book at $4.99. Not that $4.99 is a cheap book, but we've seen what some of the comic companies have been doing for the big releases and the hot releases, you know, $8.99, $9.99. They kept it at $4.99, so I'll give them a little, pat on the back for that. Still expensive in my opinion, but they could have probably jacked it up a couple of bucks and gotten away with it, and they didn't, so thank you there. One thing on this, some of the local shops here did midnight releases, and of course I went to Cosmic Comics where I buy my books every week, and they had a midnight release, so I get off work late, and I just went there for the big event, had some cake, put a couple pictures up on Instagram. And speaking to the owner, he said he wishes he can do more like that, but a lot of people don't support midnight releases, and there's usually not a really, really big crowd that comes out for it. Now, if you want your local comic shops to do special events like this, and I love midnight releases, I always have, you got to go out there and support them. They're going to open up, and they're going to bring staff in to do that, and they're going to allow you to buy the books at midnight, which, it's a business, and that's what they want to do. They want you to get their items at their shop, but you got to be out there and support them. A couple shops in town didn't get their books in, so they weren't unable to do their midnight release. So thank you, Cosmic Comics. You had a real nice event. I appreciated the free cake. I love cake, so I jumped on there. So we'll move on. Elvira, the Mistress of the Dark, #1. I love Elvira. This was a no-brainer. I don't care what the story looks like. She looks fantastic, as always. There were a couple of other covers of this book, but this is the only one I cared about. This was strictly a cover purchase right there. Scotty Young, Fuck Fairyland and I Hate Fairyland. Virgin variant right there. Cool cover. I thought that was a wicked-looking cover right there, just the way she looks with the I Hate Fairyland cover on that. And then just another one. F Fairyland again right there. Scotty Young had a huge line at Amazing Con. We'll talk about that in a second. Cover of the week. I love Zombie Tramp. It's been kind of hit and miss, but I absolutely loved this cover this week. I loved this cover, so it was a no-brainer to pick that one up right there. Good thing about the midnight release this time is that they allow people to buy all the books. Usually, the comic company will allow you to buy the release and the special issue at the midnight release. This time they just said, forget it, you can buy everything. So Marvel, DC, and all the independents just let people buy all their books, and that was a benefit for going there on Tuesday night at midnight. I could pick up my Wednesday books. The other big book this week, Catwoman #1, blank variant. And the best cover, in my opinion, right there. There was a lot of these. The shop's really loaded up on these, so it's a #1, but don't expect it to be real big. Book that I think is going to do pretty good. The story is really, really good. This is from Image. We know how Image is, hit and miss on things. This is Unnatural #1. There's the cover I picked up right there. Again, good story. Kind of had a Saga feel to it, so we'll see how that goes. Of course, there's never going to be another book like Saga in that type of genre, but that had a really good feel, so I liked it. True Believer books, #1. How can you go wrong? Fantastic Four, Galactus, for $1. I'm going to buy those all the time. Love those books. We talk about that all the time. Harley Quinn 45. Couple covers, only one I liked. This is Spider-Man Deadpool 35. Not a great cover, but I'm enjoying the storyline, keeping the run going. Really cool cover right here. Death of the Inhumans. I just love that cover. Now, they had 2 covers of this book. This was the one I thought was the best of the 2. Another really cool cover. This is the Immortal Hulk #2. I just really thought that was a nice looking cover right there when I saw it. Again, it's okay to buy books for the covers. Captain America #1. This one had a $4.99 price point like everything else at Marvel, as it keeps going up every, few months or so. And this was the best of the covers. I only got one only because it was #1 and I am a Captain America fan. So I grabbed this right here. Some of the other covers were not that great, but that one I liked. And then, of course, from Marvel, we remember the Cosmic Ghost Rider that came out in the Thanos books. And this was his independent one here. This is Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's cover A. Cover B. So that's what I picked up this week. Again, it was a pretty big week. There was a lot of good releases that came out this week. Again, Unnatural and that cover of the Zombie Tramp, with the exception of the Batman 50, are going to be a couple of books that I think, not so much the Zombie Tramp, that was a cover book, but I think that Unnatural is a book that's really going to come out hot. Again, the story was really, really good, and it was selling really good. So, of course, if you didn't hear, we have the passing of Steve Ditko today. He passed away at 90 years old, and it's another sad day because what we're doing is we're losing all of our really good artists and our really good writers, and they're just starting to get up in that age, in the 80s, 90s. Stan Lee, I don't think Stan Lee will make it past this year because he's been sick a lot and he's in his 90s. And then we're losing a lot of these. So if you have an opportunity to go to shows and you see some of these older, legends of this industry, stop by, say hello, talk, get a picture. Buy something from their table. Let them know that you appreciate what they brought to the table, what they brought to the market, and just say thank you. I saw Marv Wolfman at the Amazing Con. There's another one, great writer. But again, they get up there in age, and things go like that. So, speaking of Amazing Con, Scotty Young was signing a ton of autographs, and he was giving free autographs. Okay, Scotty Young has always been very good to his fan base. But people get a little out of hand with it, and we've discussed this in the past. I looked at the line for Scotty Young, and that line, people were getting in line, that was a 2 to 3 hour line. And it's not like a guy goes up there and says, can you sign my book for me? It's, hey, can you sign my stack of books for me? And he was doing it. But you know what? That's just greedy. That's where it becomes a little bit offshot. And you hear people in line, oh yeah, I'm going to make money on this, I'm going to make money on that. I didn't stand in line to get anything from Scotty Young. I'm a people watcher. He was right next to Patrick Finch, who I enjoy his artwork, Patrick Finch, and I talked to him, and then Scotty Young was just signing. But you know what? Don't be greedy when you're doing that. The guys are going to sign you some autographs, and then people bitch and moan when someone charges for an autograph. Marv Wolfman was charging $20 for a print. I don't have a problem with that. Marv Wolfman is a legend. I bought a print from him for $20. You can buy prints for $10 or $15 from other people, but it's Marv Wolfman, so I had no problem doing that. Neil Adams charges for his signature, or he charges to get a picture taken with him. You know what? He's earned that right to charge that. Like the man or not like the man, he is an industry standard. And it's funny that someone will complain about paying $20 or $30 to get your picture taken with Neil Adams, but you'll pay $100 to have your picture taken with the actor who plays Daredevil, and you don't blink an eye about that. So, let's find some common ground there for that. A couple things that happened at the Amazing Con, and this video I'm just kind of rattling on. I had a real busy week. I went to a booth, and I saw a guy who was selling, it was an elderly guy, or not really elderly, but, 60s, and his stuff was just strewn all over, and people going through it, and the bags were dirty, where you're going through the bags, and your hands get dirty. We all know that feeling when you're doing that, and so I find something in there that I'm interested in. It was a Zombie Tramp 1 through 4 set, and they sell pretty good. And he had a price of $150 on it, $150, and he had 50% off, so $75. So books 1, 2, and 4 were super, super clean, super, super nice. Number 3 had some spine damage, but I thought, you know what? For $75 to get 1, 2, and 4 in really high grade, that's okay. I'll take the hit on the 3. And I'm not going to worry about it because it sells really, really well in my shops. When I open it, was sold. Zombie Tramp always sells because Mendoza being local. So I handed him the books and said, yeah, I'll take these, but I'm going to keep looking and see what else you got. So I look for about 10 minutes, look for things. I don't find anything else that I'm really interested in. Because like I said, his stuff was just kind of mix mash. It was in no order. And it was just super, super dirty. And so I go to pay for it, and he's like, $125. I'm like, why is it $125? He's $150, 50% off. Oh, I saw you looking at it, so I checked him on eBay, and I raised the price on it. Really? You're going to raise the price on me? So I told him I don't want the books. And he's like, well, why not? I was like, well, because you jacked the price up on me. You had them priced, and then you saw that I wanted them, and you jacked the price up another $100. That's ridiculous. So I go to leave, and there's a couple guys in his booth, and they're like, hey, did he just jack the price up on you? And I said, yeah. And they set their books down, they leave. And then the next day I see the guy, and he's all pissed off at me. You took business out of my booth. No, you took the business out of your own booth. If you're going to sell at a show, have your stuff in some type of order. If you don't want to have it in order, price it. Don't try to price it off of eBay as people are trying to buy things from you, okay? Check the stuff out when you're trying to sell things. And then don't change the price because you think someone wants it. That's just bad business. That's chicken shit, man. That's scandalous right there. And then I've been got a lot of questions about the 3 boards on a book. This is just a Godzilla. What is it? Godzilla number 5, 3 boards. And they're asking about cost factor on that. If the book is a $10 book and it's going to cost, it'll cost me $0.25 to put 3 boards in, 3 boards in a bag on. It costs me $0.25. I'll spend the 25 cents because in this industry, you have to separate yourself from everybody else. And the only way to separate yourself is making your items and the things that you're selling stand out from other people. You do that based off of condition, presentation, and getting people to come to your booth. So I'm kind of running out of time. I like to keep my videos at a certain time. But if you're going to spend $40 to get a new book graded, don't complain when someone if I'm going to do it for $0.25 and just be able to keep the book in a perfect condition for you. So that's pretty much what I have. Again, video is all over the place. Again, Instagram, Arkham LV, and again, we lost with the passing of Steve Ditko. It's just another legend down the drain. So hope you liked the video. But if you didn't, as always, nothing I can do for you. Send me some questions, and I'll talk to you next week.